Welcome to our today's lesson, and I've actually been able to go to another topic, and this is actually matrices. And I'm going to use question 14 to introduce some concepts in as far as matrices as a topic is concerned. So the question will be able to get first read, and then I'll be able to actually jot down some concepts before I can be able to actually arrive at the final answer. So the question reads, given that the matrix A, of course I'm going to give the elements of that matrix, those are 2, 3, and 3, 4. So comma, and the question says, find the inverse of matrix A. That is A raised to negative 1, the inverse. Then part B of that question reads, that was actually part A. Kantai bought 200 bags of sugar and 300 bags of rice for a total of 850,000 Kenyan shillings. Buya bought 90 bags of sugar and 120 bags of rice for a total of 360 Kenyan shillings. If the price of a bag of sugar is X shillings and that of rice is Y shillings, form two equations to represent the information above. Use the matrix A raised to negative 1, or the inverse of matrix A, to find the price of one bag of each item. Then part C of that question reads, Kali bought 225 bags of sugar and 360 bags of rice. He was given a total discount of 33,300 Kenyan shillings. If the discount on the price of a bag of rice was 2%, calculate the percentage discount on the price of a bag of sugar. So I'm going to actually put down some concepts before I can be able to actually embark on doing the question, so that you can be able to make a follow-up and be able to know what you're supposed to do, just in case you come across of such a type in any examination. And of course, I'm first going to introduce this. I'm going to say matrix is actually in singular, and I can say the plural of this is matrices. Good. Now in this case, you're supposed to note this. When I have a number or numbers like, let me just give an example of what has been given here in that question. They have told you matrix A. Matrix A is 2, 3, 3, 4. Now look at this, the working I've actually been able to write down here. So 2, 3, 3, 4 are referred to as elements. So we call them elements. So 2, 3, then 3, 4 are actually called elements of a matrix. Elements of a matrix. They are called elements of a matrix. Elements of a matrix. And remember this. This one can be able to get referred to as the main diagonal. Main diagonal. You see, of a matrix. Main diagonal of a matrix. Then this one gets referred to as the secondary diagonal. Secondary diagonal. So main diagonal and secondary diagonal. So take note of these two very important concepts. So 2, 4 main diagonal, 3, 3 secondary diagonal. They are going to help you in as far as getting the inverse of a matrix is concerned. So I've said 2, 3, 3, 4 are referred to as elements. Then 2, 4 are elements that form what you call the main diagonal. Then 3, 3 are the elements that form what you call the secondary diagonal. Now, how do you get the inverse of a matrix? Inverse. How do you get the inverse of a matrix? These are the steps. Number 1, determine first what you call the determinant. Get the determinant. Get the determinant. Get the determinant of that matrix. Then when you are done with getting the determinant, always do what we call changing 1 can say the elements of the main diagonal, change the elements of the main diagonal. Then 2, you can change the signs on the elements. You can change the signs on the elements of the second, or as well referred to as secondary diagonal. So look at this. I've said step number 1 in getting the inverse of a matrix is you first get the determinant. I'll show you how to get the determinant. Number 2, you do some changes. So what do? You do actually the changing of the elements. So you say the changing of the elements. Changing of the elements of the main diagonal. You can add this and say in terms of their position. In terms of their position. In terms of their position. So what do? As far as the changing aspect is concerned, you actually change, or having what you call the changing of the elements of the main diagonal in terms of their position. So you do what you call interchanging. Interchanging. So they change their positions. They actually swap, you see. Then number 2, you do also the changing of the signs on the elements of the second diagonal. So if all the signs are positive, they'll end up becoming negative. And if they are all negative, they end up becoming positive. And if one is negative, it becomes positive. And when the other one is actually positive, it becomes negative. That's what you're supposed to note. Now, something else to actually take note of is this. You are supposed now to actually open the brackets. You open the brackets, or you actually complete your working. Do what you call completing your working. Good. So you can complete your working by opening the brackets. You can complete your working by opening the brackets. Good. And complete your working by opening. So you actually get the determinant. You do some changes in terms of the elements of the main diagonal. You see, how do you actually do the changes? By interchanging those elements. So you change their position. The number 2, the signs on the elements of the second diagonal also end up changing. Of course, if they are all positive, they become negative. Then complete your working by opening the brackets. So you'll have actually the game of having arrived at the final answer in as far as getting the inverse of a matrix is concerned. So we can actually be able to do this question. So they're saying find the inverse, or that given that the matrix A is 2, 3, 3, 4, that's what you can be able to give in as far as the elements are concerned. Then they're saying find the inverse of matrix A, the inverse of A. Good. So have a look at the following and then be able to see how you can be able to get the answer. So how do you get the inverse of a matrix? So you're going to do this. You're going to say matrix A is, let me look at the elements. So we have 2, 3, 3, 4. So I need first to get the determinant. How do I get the determinant? Det is equals to product of elements of main diagonal less product of elements of second or secondary diagonal. Det product of elements of main diagonal less product of elements of second diagonal. Good. So main diagonal, then second diagonal. Great. So I'm going to say product means multiplication. So 2 times 4, then less 3 times 3. That gives me 8. That gives me 9. So the difference is -1. And this is the same as saying Look at that. Negative 1 over 1. Then the next thing, that's step number 1 of getting the determinant. So get the determinant by actually taking the product of the elements of the main diagonal, then less product of elements of second diagonal. Then get the reciprocal of that. So this is the same as negative 1 over 1. So the reciprocal will become 1 over negative 1. That is very important. So that one becomes now the determinant in that case. If you're done with that, come back and pick those elements. Write them down here, my student. So you have 2, 3, 3, 4. What did I say here? Do some changing. Elements of the main diagonal, in terms of their position, have to undergo some changing. So they get interchanged. So interchanging occurs. Let me go to the main diagonal. These are the elements. What do? I interchange them. So this comes here. You can see, then this one comes here. You can be able to see. So I'm going to have at the end of the day something of this sort. So I'm going to have 4, then 2. Then go back to that summary. Signs on the elements of the second diagonal also undergo some changing. So the signs change. That is to mean if they are all positive, they will become negative. So that means I'm going to say negative 3, negative 3. I'll put in bracket. Look at that. So if they were positive, now they have turned out to be negative. You can see. Great. Then, when I'm done with this, I'm going to actually pick my determinant. Then write it outside. So 1 over negative 1. So what am I going to have? 1 over negative 1 into 4, negative 3, negative 3, 2. Close brackets. I can leave it at this point, or I can even be able to open the brackets. That's what I told you. Complete your working by opening the brackets. Good. Complete your working by opening the brackets. So I'm going to open the brackets. I'm going to say 1 times 4 is 4. Divided by negative 1, I'm going to get negative 4. Great. Then I'll come back here. 1 times negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 1, that is 3. Great. Then I'll come here again and say 1 times negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 1, that is actually 3. Then 1 times 2. 2 divided by negative 1, negative 2. That one becomes my A, negative 1. That's the inverse of matrix A. As easy as it is. So do practice and these things will become very, very easy. So that's my final answer as far as the first part of that question is concerned in relation to getting them inverse of matrix A. Very correct. Now let's go to the next part of that question. And the next part of that question reads, I'll be able to look at the question again to now be able to get the answer. So the question reads, Kantai bought 200 bags of sugar. So Kantai buys 200 bags of sugar. So 200 bags of sugar. Let me just write 200 sugar. Then plus, he also buys 300 bags of rice. So 300 bags of rice. Then he ends up spending 850,000 Kenyan shillings. Then on the other hand, Buya buys 90 bags of sugar and again buys 120 bags of rice, and then he spends less, that is 360,000. Now look at that summary. 300 bags of rice, 200 bags of sugar at 850,000 Kenyan shillings. 90 bags of sugar, 120 bags of rice at 360 Kenyan shillings. So the question asks us to actually pick the price of a bag of sugar as X and that of rice as that. So look at this. 1 bag of sugar has been taken to be X shillings. Then 1 bag of rice gets taken as Y shillings. So we can form 2 simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. They are simultaneous. They follow each other consecutively. So So that means if one bag of sugar costs X shillings, and this is actually Kantai. Now in form of X and Y, we want to see how much will Kantai end up spending as given in this question. If you have to actually use X and Y as the prices of one bag of sugar and one bag of rice respectively. So we are going to have 200x. Why 200x? One bag of sugar costs X shillings, but the total number of bags bought are 200. So then plus 300y. One bag of rice is Y shillings, but the total number of bags bought 300. That one will give us 850 Kenyan shillings. Good. Then come back and say, what happens to Buya? Buya buys 90 bags of sugar. So 90 times X, then 120 times Y. This one has to actually get equated to 360 Kenyan shillings. Thousands now. So to actually finish this, we have to simplify these equations because they are very huge numbers that can bring problems in terms of calculating. So we're going to actually say 2 zeros and 2 zeros and 2 zeros. That is acceptable in mathematics. So that ends up giving us 2x plus 3y is equals to 8,500. Then we shall come here and say 1 0, 1 0, 1 0. Of course I've stopped here because there's no any common divisor between 2, 3 and 8,500. Then coming back here, we shall have 9x, then 12y is equals to 36,000 because 1 0 has disappeared. But now we are still able to divide using 3, so we can divide all through by 3 by 3. So that means that gives us what? 3x plus, this gives us 4y is equal to, this gives us 12. So 12, then obviously 1,000. I'm not wrong. That is that 6,000 divided by 3. That is 6,000 divided by 3. Those are 12,000. Yes, 12,000. So we have formed two simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equation 1, simultaneous equation 2. So we can form what we call matrix equation. You see, we are going to say now 2, 3, 3, 4. You see, this one should resemble, for you to know that you're on the right track, it should resemble whatever you had actually ended up using while getting the inverse. So you see, 2, 3, 3, 4. Look at this. 2, 3, 3, 4. They must be the same. 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 That gives you a hint that you're on the right track. Then, of course, the first letter is X. You write it here, X. Then the second one is Y. You write it down here. I think you're seeing what I'm doing. Don't write those numbers with the letters. A matrix does not have letters in most cases. It only has the numbers, which get referred to as the elements. Then write here X, Y in that order, the first one, the second. Then it should be equal to 8,500, then 12,000. Good. That is what you call matrix equations that can represent that information. So you can be able to actually get now told, they have told you use the matrix n negative 1 or the inverse of matrix A to find the price of one bag of each item. You're going to use this matrix, okay, together with the inverse you had actually gotten here. So we had actually gotten the inverse of that matrix, and that is not new to us. Our inverse was here, and you can see it, negative 4, 3, 3, negative 2. Negative 4, 3, 3, negative 2. Negative 4, 3, 3, negative 2. Good. So you're going to use the inverse. The question says, use the inverse of matrix A to find the price of one bag of each item. So we have to begin with that inverse of matrix A, which is negative 4. As you can see it here, it is here. So I'm not just coming up with my own things. Negative 4, 3, then 3, negative 2. Look at that. Then now you can write this equation here. Then we shall say 2, 3, 3, 4, like that, x, y, like that. Then is equals to 8,500, then 12,000. Look at that, the easiest thing ever. Now what you need to know is that you have to actually complete this equation. How do you complete the equation? By also multiplying by the inverse of that matrix on this other side. So you also write -4, 3, 3, -2. Then you are actually done with that. These two will give you what you call a singular matrix. You can refer to it as what you call an identity matrix. So identity matrices can just be able to get obtained when a matrix gets multiplied by the inverse of the same matrix. So that gives what you call an identity matrix of 1, 0, 0, 1. Then you can just leave it like that. So that gives you x, y. So there's nothing you can do with this. Once you get the identity matrix, you can leave it at that point. Then come back here, you have x, y. So is equals to. So the most important part that can give you the value of x and y is this. Then you cannot multiply this. You have to interchange them. How do you do it? -4, 3. 3, -2. Then close the brackets. Then write here 8,500. Then 12,000. Good. So you'll come here and write -4. So you have still x and y getting moved along with what you are doing. Then 3, 3, -2, close bracket. Then you have 8,500. Then you have 12,000. So you have to actually go like this when multiplying. So I'm going to say -4 times this, then 3 times that. This and this, this and that. This and that. So -4 times 8,500. Still x and y still moves that order. Then plus. Look at that. Then this 3 goes with the one below it. You see. So you have 3 times 12,000. Yes. Then come down here. The first 3 at the bottom goes with the first number. You can see. Then you can say 3 times 8,500. Then plus. Then the -2 goes with this. Then -2 times 12,000. Yeah. So we have again x and y in that order is equals to. So I'm going to my calculator. And what do I have? I'll begin with the first one. Let me put it here. I can be able to see, yes. So I'll say -4 the first one times 8,500. That gives me -34,000 plus, so we go to the next one, 3 times 12,000. That gives me 36,000. Good. 36,000. Good. Then I'll come back to the next part, the one below it, this one here. So I'll say 3 times 8,500. I'll get 25,500. Then plus, I have -2 times 12,000. It gives me -24,000. -24,000. Good. So again, I'm going to write x, y. So I'll begin with the first one. -34,000. Let me just take it back here. -34,000. You can see it from here. Then plus 36,000. Plus 36,000. Good speed going to give me positive, so that is 2,000. I'll go to the next one. I'll say -25. So it is -24,000 plus 25,500. It gives me 1,500. Good. That means the price of one bag of sugar is 2,000. Then the price of one bag of rice is 1,500. Those are your answers. Great. So using what you call matrix method to get the values of x and y. That is great. Matrix method to get the values of x and y. Matrix method. That's how you're supposed to do it. So just form the matrix equations. Use the inverse of the matrix. Then get the values of x and y. I've told you this, and this gives you what we call the identity matrix 1 0 0 1. Leave it at that point. Just write x and y. Then pick that inverse, also multiply on this other side. Rearrange. You can't say this time, then how will it even go? So rearrange them in this manner, then start multiplying in this order. Work out at this point, then arrive at the final answer, x and y, in that order. So to retain this x, y, x, y, x, y for you to actually know the value of x to the value of y. Thank you so much. Let's look at the last part of that question. And the question reads, Kali bought 225 bags of sugar and 360 bags of rice. He was given a total discount of 33,300 Kenyan shillings. If the discount on the price of a bag of rice was 2%, calculate the percentage discount on the price of a bag of sugar. So, I know very well that the price, so I know one bag of sugar costs 2,000 Kenyan shillings. One bag of rice costs 1,500 Kenyan shillings. But now they've given this person a discount of 2% on each. Look at this part. If the discount on the price of a bag of rice was 2%, so discount on one bag of rice is 2%. Yeah. And now they want us to get the discount on the bag of sugar. Yeah. Now what do I do here? I'll just say, let me first get the discount on the bag of what? Rice, which has already been given in terms of percentage. So I have to get the figure in terms of the amount of money. So that is equivalent to, you just say 2% out of 100 times. So what's the bag of that costing? So I have 1,500. So one bag of sugar costs that, one bag of rice costs that. The discount on one bag of rice is 2%. The discount on the bag of sugar is not given. So we need first to get the discount on one bag of rice. So discount on one bag of rice is 2 over 100 times 1,500. Now I'm trying to actually mean that if 100% represents the price 1,500, what about 2%? That's the same thing. So I can just cross multiply. Then I'll actually end up having 2 times 1,500 over 100. Look at that. The same thing. 2 times 100 over. So you can be able to get the same concept. So if you say 2 times 1,500 over 100 is the same as saying 100% represents that. What about 2%? So you have 100 times something here, then 2 times 1,500. So 2 times 1,500 over 100. So this is the same as 2 times 15 is 30. So that means on each bag of rice, this Kantai could be given a discount of 30 Kenyan shillings. But now, this person bought a total of 225 bags of sugar and 360 bags of rice. So let's get the total discount on the 360 bags of rice. So one bag is equals to 30 Kenyan shillings. That's actually the discount on one bag of rice. Is a discount. So the bag of rice gets given 30 Kenyan shillings as the discount. But the bags bought at 360. So how much was this person given as the discount? You'll cross multiply. So you're going to say 360, the total number of bags bought times 30 Kenyan shillings, the discount given on each bag. That is equivalent to, I'm going to say 30 times 360, that is 10,800. So 10,800. 10,800. That was the total discount given on the bags of rice. But the question says the total discount given to this person. That is actually the discount for the bags of rice. See, the total discount of that 3,300 was given. That means that was actually involving the discount given on the bags of rice and on the bags of sugar. So we want to get now the total discount given on the bags of sugar will be how much. So total discount is equals to that 3,300. But now discount on bags of rice, is equal to 10,800. So discount of sugar will be total discount less discount on rice. So how much is remaining? So we shall say that 3,300 less 10,800, the discount that was given on bags of rice. So the discount given on the bags of sugar in total was 22,500. So 22,500. Then we can ask ourselves, if this is the discount given on the bags of what? Sugar. Let's get how much was each bag costing, because this Kali bought a total of 225 bags. So that means we shall say total discount 22,500 divided by the number of bags 225. So we can say discount on each bag of sugar. Total discount given divided by the number of bags bought as far as sugar is concerned. So that means each discount was 100 Kenyan shillings. So each bag of sugar would get a chance of getting given a discount of 100 Kenyan shillings. So percentage discount on each bag of sugar. So on each bag of sugar, will be discount of buying price or cost price times 100. So discount of cost price times 100. We can as well say discount over marked price times 100. So N can work CP, cost price. That means the cost price can be the marked price if no discount gets given. Then the marked price can be different from the cost price just in case the discount gets given. So in this case, we shall actually be able to use the marked price. So discount is 100 over marked price, which is actually 2,000, because each bag of sugar was costing 2,000. So that is like the marked price. Before a discount of 100 Kenyan shilling gets given. So discount of 100 divided by the marked price. That means this person is buying one bag of sugar at not 2,000 but at 1,900. You see. So 100 the discount given over the marked price, the initial price that we have actually obtained here, which is 2,000. Then multiply by 100, we shall get the discount given on each bag of sugar. So this and this will disappear, this and this will disappear. So 2 there, 1s, 2 there. So each bag of sugar get given a discount of 5%. Thank you so much and have a lovely night. Let's meet in our next video.